Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Tuesday afternoon, June 9th. We're looking at the last couple of days of the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. A couple of things right off the bat. We have a bad tick again, right? So the high in SPY today is 322.37, not 323.28. So that's one thing I had to fix on the charts. It also has a pre-market low that you're going to see on the weekly that is so wrong, at least for now. It's not even funny. So the charts are a little distorted. Bulls for a day that started where the bears again had a chance to do something. You got to give them a lot of credit. Now, obviously, I would imagine NASDAQ had a lot to do with it as they propelled themselves to the 10,000 mark for the first time ever and pushed us up to it, where we got basically to the spike base or the price probe base from yesterday. Remember, we had a price probe yesterday that was firmly rejected because we opened all the way down here. We had a trend day yesterday that was filled as soon as the market opened. Right? We opened right around the afternoon pullback low, and what did we do with it? Nothing. They pushed down a bit in A. They pushed down actually one time frame down in B and took out yesterday's low. There was nothing stopping them from attempting to at least get to value low and M low from the 5th and then that huge gap. Now, yes, we were already down 1% at the time when that happened, and these sellers have been weak, so asking for that might have been too much, obviously. Good day for me, good day in the trading room. Again, not the easiest day to trade, as the market, the sellers had a chance in A and B and failed. Then buyers had a chance in C and D. They gave it up in E and F. And then again, look what we did was we make a new high in I and L, and then only to see M flush out when it got so close, you thought we were going to get a price probe. ES did not get their overnight high or low. That happens only 3% of the time. So obviously it happens 6 to 8 times a year. Well, this is one of them. The SPY did get its pre-market high. As far as my trades today, first one I did was in A period. We opened, got down to yesterday's low, tape it off, couldn't take it out, took a long, and as soon as I took it, it traded right back up to just below the opening, and I got out of it. It turned out to be a very nice winner. I mean, a quick one and a nice one. Then I took 2 shorts, and basically they were scratches. Now, I did not take the short as soon as we took out A's low because, again, I thought the sellers were weak. I thought they were weak. It came back in. I took it. We were below the opening. I made some money on it. I held on to some. As soon as we got back above the opening, got out of it, lost very little on it. Then in D, I took another. I did nothing in C, right? So C popped. I said, let it do. It can do what it wants to do. I don't care. We were getting up to a visual point where there were buys yesterday. I thought there might be sellers there. I wasn't going to get long. I did not. D opened. We had single prints. We had a chance for a trend day twice to the upside. Both times failed. So when D opened, and even though it took out the high, when it started to come back in, I'm sorry, take that back. It did not take out the high yet. And when it doesn't usually and starts coming in, I took a short. I thought maybe we would fill the single prints and stay in the lower distribution, right? Because we barely got into the upper distribution in C and D. So I took a short, came in a bit, took some off, and then it went up. And as soon as it took out C's high, I got out of the rest. So I still made, but not as much as I could have. And then it rolled over again, obviously. Now, I did nothing in E and F. F does turn out to be our afternoon pullback low. But the fact that we were back in the lower end of the distribution, the fact that we got through the opening four times out of 6 time frames, was like, I wasn't too comfortable going long there, so I did nothing. The one trade I made, which turned out to be very nice, was in H period. So G stopped the one time framing down. As soon as H took out G's high, I'm like, well, the odds now of getting the day's high are pretty good. We got it, and I took it and got out of it when we popped the top. We went higher, made our high of the day at the time. J period open. Couldn't get up to I's high, and man, did I get on this one at the right time. I was hesitating. We had very small singles. I was like, maybe I want to get on board, take a short. Maybe we flush out a little bit. And I'm telling you, as soon as I took it, and I took 50 contracts, the minute I hit buy and I bought them, this thing just automatically flushed. So it was my best trade of the day by far, as it just flushed out, filled the singles, and just kept going. And I took them off down around POC. Now, L period. Twice I took longs above, took out K's high, got long, came in, went back up, took it back out of K's above K, came back in again. I did it again. I really thought at that time, the way the market was acting, the fact that POC kept getting raised a little bit gradually, I thought we'd have a better chance of making new highs. We did. That's why I took those. I did it again in M. I took a long. Came down somewhere. It was above POC. I got long. Got out when it got up to eyes high. I really did think, though, I'm glad I got out, obviously, because M flushed. But I thought the odds of taking out L's high and getting a price probe and even possibly going for the ES overnight high was decent. But the indices were not in my favor. If the market was up strong, I think it would have happened. But the only one that was really up was the NASDAQ. Everything else was down. So that worked against me. But I didn't get hurt. I got out of it, and I just watched it the rest of the day. Turned out to be a very good day. Now, don't forget we have the Fed tomorrow. It should make for a very interesting day. I have seen trend days prior to the Fed speaking, but they have never held either side once the Fed, before the Fed spoke. It wasn't like they got taken back after the Fed. So it's not always necessarily a quiet day before 2 p.m. Just keep that in mind. Destinations on the upside. First one will be 321.33, which is 9 wide. L's low. Then we don't have anything to today's high of 322.37. And then 323.41. And then 324.61 daily high. So we have a couple of voids in prices and on both sides of the market. On the downside, we have the afternoon pullback low of F at 320.16. Today's low of 319.36. And then the daily low of 317.16 and filling the huge gap at 313, 416 point gap. I would think the odds are very good because remember, M period during the day is so erratic, right? I mean, look, thought we were going to pop the top and everything. Yes, the indices weren't in my favor, but then it not only did it come in, it gave back, it almost traded the whole day's range. We traded almost to the high to the opening. So price during M is very erratic. I wouldn't doubt we are going to bounce inside of it tomorrow a bunch of time frames. Chart-wise, monthly, one time framing up 2 months, inside month up 2 months ago has proved to be very, very profitable. If you were long, it's healthy. Next destination on the upside is the all-time high in the SPY. Weekly, now to disregard the low of that chart. SPY's low is, let me go to the daily quick. I'm losing my mind. SPY's low is today's low, right, which is 319.36. That is absolutely wrong. That, for some reason, right before the market opened, it showed that as a pre-market low. The reason I'm not changing it is they usually fix that by the next day. If it's not fixed, I will fix it before the opening. But today's low so far is the weekly low. Now, we did close back inside last week's range, and we did close below last year's settlement in SPY. We went back and forth through it a bunch of times. So we're having a little trouble. But again, we're still very healthy, one time framing up. And then on the daily, pure balance again, 3-day balance. Gap is my main focus. With the Fed speaking tomorrow, I would think we're going to trade within this 3-day balance prior to any major move being made, right? 323.41 is the high of it. 317.16 is the low of it. I'm sure we'll balance within this 3-day range prior to 2 p.m. and then the press conference. Remember, we have the webinar coming up Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I put the video out there again on Twitter. Check it out, or it's still here on YouTube. Come look at us at camelbacktrading.org. We had a pretty good day in the trading room today. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.